Hello guys, this is Bismarck and welcome back to another session on Android tutorials. As we could recall, if you have followed me on my channel, you could know that we have started talking about how to use Hilt in your dependency injection. So it's a library. So today, if you haven't watched my previous two tutorials on dependency injection, you could take this chance and watch it. But today, what we are going to talk about is we want to talk about using Hilt in your testing. Okay, so I have written a blog on this called, if you want to follow me on Medium platform, Nyamebe Smack 12-NB Medium. Okay, so if you go there, you will see my blog, and I have the link to my blog on my YouTube channel, so you can also check from there. So my latest blog on or article on Android is testing with Hilt. Okay, so I have written this blog already, like just some 1 day or 2 days ago. And if you want to have a read, you can read about it. You can come here and read about it. But we just have a brief description and overview of this article. So as we said, we want to help Hilt in our dependency injection during testing. So you will require some two or more libraries for this to help you. So in your Gradle file, you need to add the test implementation. Okay, if you do UI test with Robo Electric, this is a testing framework. You have to use test implementation, so you have to grab this library. And if you are on Kotlin, you have to grab this library for your annotation to be processed. And if you're using Java, you have to use this for Java. And also, if you're also testing on UI, instrumentation testing, in instrumentation testing, you have to use this library. And if you are in Kotlin, the same goes for the annotation processing. You have to use this, and in Java, this. Okay, so if you check, I have this already. In my Gradle. File. Okay, so here is it. So I have synced this already, and this is Hilt. This is for the testing. So this actually, as I said, for processing the annotation, and this is also for processing the annotation during testing. Then again, I have the Hilt, the processor, the capped processor in the instrumentation. This for the instrumentation testing, and this also for the instrumentation testing, guys. So you can pause this video, or you can better off go onto my blog and get these libraries. Okay, so after this, what is next? So now we are ready, we are set up, and we are ready to do testing. And this tutorials is not basically scoped to testing. Okay, so we assume that if you are watching these tutorials, you are good with testing. You know what testing is and how to do testing with Espresso. We have Espresso for UI testing, and we have Robo for testing. Okay, normal testing, but it helps you to test the activity without displaying it on your, or showing or displaying the activity or the fragment on your mobile or your device. Okay, so it takes it in the background, and it gives you the feedback. So this for testing UI. So, and one thing that we know is, in my last tutorials, we talk about how to use Hilt library in our dependency injection and the setup. So mostly when you are setting up, you use, for example, we need application class. Okay, we need application class that we annotate with Android, Hilt Android app. Okay, in this same vein, if you are doing testing, your test class, you have to annotate it with at Hilt 100 test. So just this. Then again, you have to use Hilt 100 rule for your testing. So this annotation, what it does is it just when you are about to test, it tries to set up your test with all the necessary ingredients or classes that Hilt might require for your dependency injection. And we also use the rule, the Hilt 100 rule, to kind of help you with injection. Okay, so if you read this block, I'm not going to read everything here since I have it there already. You can go there and read it. And as I said, during testing in your UI test, mostly when you are testing, we have something called instrumentation runner. Okay, so this runner gives some default application. It gives some default application for your UI testing. But as we have already talked about in Hilt, when you are using Hilt, your application has to be annotated with, let me get it here. You have to annotate it with at 100. Okay, this at Hilt 100 app. But then here's a case. There's one glitch here, here, when you are using normal instrumentation testing. When you're using normal instrumentation runner, it gives you a default application, but it doesn't annotate with 100 app. Okay, so Hilt has its own application class called Hilt Test Application. Okay, so we have to set up, if you are doing this, you have to set up a runner. So I have this custom runner that I have set up, test runner. So this is it. So this is Kotlin. So it just extends 100 JUnit runner, and on the new application you just give it this Hilt test application. Okay, this Hilt test application, and this is actually something, it's just a class that comes with its application class that comes with Hilt test library. So we have to create this custom test runner. Then we come to your Gradle file. In the Gradle file, we have to initially the test instrumentation runner is pointing to something different, but you have to go there and override it. Just replace what you have in your Gradle file with, this is my package name. Okay, this is my package name. So if you are following me keenly on this, and probably maybe you have named your test runner with custom test runner, okay, or maybe something different, so you just grab the package name. So this is where you can get it. If you come here, you see this, the package name. You just grab the package name, then you append the custom test runner onto it, and you are good to go. Then after this, after we are done with this, now let's see what is next. So here, if you are using if you are a fan of Robo Electric in your testing, first of all, when you are doing your testing, you have to first of all configure it with Robo Electric. So I have a class in here that it is actually configured for you. So it's because of time. So I have a class already here. So this is a test class, so Hilt test, and I'm using Robo Electric in my test application. So if you're using Robo Electric also allows you to set up, to allow you to add your own application class to start with. Okay, so you annotate it with at config, and the application class, as we said, Hilt comes with its own application class for better usage. So Hilt test application. So this is application class that comes with Hilt. It is shipped actually out of the box with Hilt. Then if you have to configure this with the Robo Electric, then you can follow along with what we talk about. So we have in Hilt testing, as I said, for you to do your injection, we require Hilt 100 rule. So this is a rule that we use in our testing. And one thing I might say is, if you are using, if you let's say you have a health test already there and it is already using a rule, we want health want this rule to be on the first class. Okay, so if you have multiple rules, you can allow this, you can make this the first rule in your application, or you have something called chaining of rules. Okay, so I have it in here. If you go for some special cases, chaining of rules, I have it somewhere here. Oh, I didn't capture it. So if I didn't capture it, it is there. So let's say we can come to Hilt 100. You will see the chaining of rules. Okay, you will see the chaining of rules. So this is what we have in here. This is the chain of rule I'm talking about. So rule chain, then let the outer rule be Hilt 100 rule. That should be your outer rule, and all the other rules that we have will follow using around. Okay, so this is a builder, a pattern. This is a builder pattern, so you can take more than one. Okay, so I think let me try to copy this. And okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So we have something like this, and if you have, okay, and this is your Hilt rule, and any other rule that we have will also come here. Any other rule that we have will also come here, and you can have multiple. Okay, you can have multiple. Okay, so you can have multiple rule using this is a builder pattern. Okay, so as I said, multiple rules in here. So I have only one rule, so I'm using just normal rule, not the chain one. So when we are done with this is testing with Robo Electric. First of all, your test class has to be annotated with at Hilt Android test. This has to be there. It is like when we are using injection, Hilt injection in your activity or fragment. Any Android class we use at Hilt Android, at entry Android. Yes, something like, let me show you. So probably something like in activity. So Android entry point. Okay, so this tells Android tells Hilt that this is an entry point, so it should prepare all the dependencies that has to be injected, and now you can use your injection. So in that same vein, when we are doing testing, you have to annotate your test class with Hilt Android test, and this is a rule. Then we can follow along with your injection. Okay, so and one thing that one might be asking is, where is our module? Okay, where's our module class? Our module class. So we have this module class in. So first of all, you have to create your test application. Okay, so this is where you will store all your dependencies. We have talked about something like this in my previous video. So if you don't understand, you can go there. But the only new thing here is at test install in. Okay, so this is only this annotation that is used for installing your module in these components that we have. So test install in. But if it's not testing, we use install in. So we have this, and we want this to replace what we have in here. So this is our production work. For production code, we are using room. Okay, we are using room as our database, but then the room database is live room database. Okay, it's not testing, but during testing we can't use this in our testing. So Room also has its own way of testing the database, and there is it, room.in-memory database builder. So we use this when we are doing your testing for when you are testing room, okay, when you are testing room in your application. So for this provider, as Hilt is just a library that will give this dependency, we have to initiate, or we have to instantiate our room in here. We instantiate it, but before doing this, you should also know that room has its own, it has its own library for testing. So before you can do this, you might have imported room, okay. This is Android testing when we are testing in with room. There is it, as I have highlighted here. So you have to grab this library and sync it in your Gradle so that you can test with room. And when everything, all this setup is done, now we can go back to the happiest part. So the happiest part I mean is, so here I have my I have set up everything in here, and I have my app database. So this is my database, and this is my DAO. Okay, this is my reading DAO that I use to do my operations for either creating, updating, deleting, and getting my model from my database. So before you can use this, you see this at before. This at before, if you are new with testing, this at before, what this annotation does is, anytime you are running any of the tests, it will call this, first before any of your tests. So Hilt want us to inject this in our before class or before method before our test continues. So I inject in here, then let me run this and let's see what happens. So here we are creating reading one, and this is a name, any name, you can give it any name. This is for testing sake. Then reading two, then we add it, so we save it to the database, then we try to create our activity. So we set up our activity with Robo Electric, then we assert if the number of records saved is equal to 2. It should be equal to 2 because we have 2 records saving. We are saving 2 records in here. So let's see if we get 2. Sometimes when we are testing with Robo Electric, it takes time. Okay, now our test has passed. So meaning it has been able to save 2 records in here. For instance, if we are to make it 1, we are asserting that room has saved only 1 record. This should throw an error because we are saving 2 records in our table, in our reading table. So this should throw an error because it should be 2. Now after everything, that we can close our database, or better still, can still close out. So that's what I'm saying. So you see, it is expecting 2 but it's giving 1. So that assert that our number of records we have in our table is 2. Okay, our number of records we have in our table is 2. I think, let me try to adjust the font size. Is too big. Let me use 17. Okay, so with this, so this is testing with Robo Electric. Okay, but what if we are testing with Espresso? Okay, we are testing with Espresso UI Testing library. So we can also do this. I have this in here. Now, in the same way that we are using Robo Electric, the same way that we can also use for UI testing with with Espresso UI Testing. So the same way your testing class has to be annotated with @Hilt Android test. Okay, then we have our rule here as we did. Then we have our injection. So these are the tags that we are injecting into our, these dependencies that we are injecting into our test class. And before that, as I said, before Hilt can inject all this, we have to call this inject on our rule. Then we can continue with our testing. Now let's run this in UI testing. Let's see. So we have, so the only difference between Robo Electric and this UI test is that with Robo Electric you don't need device for your UI testing, but if you are using normal instrumentation test, it requires a physical or virtual device like emulator so that it can run your test on. So that's the difference. So let's see, it is running. It will be done soon. To be done to be done soon. Let's see. Oh, let me run again. Let me run again. Okay, so fine. So here we are not calling any activity, we are just trying to assert this, that our DB file or database setup is working, and it is working. But let's check this now. Let's run where in our activity we are saving, we are doing some saving of tax. Then we will launch our activity. So this is not new to those who do testing in their project. You know, we do all this. So the only thing new in here is Hilt helping us to inject our activity. Oh, it's done. It's done testing. Let me do one more again. As I said, the only thing new is Hilt is actually here to inject your dependency in your testing without having to create new testing dependency. Okay, so now it is done. I think you saw the activity running. Let me try to run the whole test and see. Okay, so let me get text activity like this, and let's run this. This is a very large test. Okay. Okay, so this is the test, so it's running. Okay, so we have numerous texts that are running. Okay, so we are okay. Okay, the tags added. Okay, so it's checking our tags. So these are all our tags. Sorry. So we have a number of text cases that we are running. So I'm trying to run all. So that's why it's taking time. So let's try to check and see. So now a level 1 tax, 1 test to go. We have 6 test cases, and now it is done with. Okay. No. Sometimes if this was to be Robo Electric, the testing would have completed soon. But with UI testing, instrumentation testing, it has to open the device and be testing. So guys, so now you see, so all the eight test cases has passed, as we can see here. And as I said, there's nothing new. The only thing new is we using Hilt to inject our dependency for us. So that's the only thing new here. Okay, so guys, so this is what I wanted to show you. And don't forget to read my blog as I have them here. I have a number of blogs on my I have a number of blogs, okay, a number of articles on my page. If you come, let me show you. Okay, you go to my story. So I have a number of blogs I have written in here, 14 blogs, and you can come and just be going through. So this is the testing with Hilt Android is the latest. So we have using sync adapter to transfer data, how to use content provider, animation and transitions, RS Java. So I have all them here. Okay, guys. So thank you for staying up with me. And if you haven't subscribed to these tutorials, please do, so that we can all learn together. Okay, thank you and have a happy coding.